I sat down a couple minutes ago to start this video, and then I realized I did not like my lipstick. I was wearing a brown matte lipstick and I didn't like how it looked. So I went upstairs, wiped it all off, and then I decided I was gonna try again with like some lip liner and a lighter matte, and I did, and now it looks worse than before. But we're here now, so we're just gonna press forward because there's just no other option at this point. And I'm feeling Hello there, my friends, and welcome back to the Lemonade Stand, or welcome if you are new. My name is Brianna. I'm a certified personal trainer, a big, huge biology nerd, and a registered dietitian to be. I've assembled you all here today because I have some words about things, which pretty much sums up like every YouTube channel. Welcome to an episode of my series, Stuff Influencers Say. In this series, I react to all the dumb and ridiculous things that influencers say, particularly influencers in the health, wellness, and fitness space, because they say a lot of dumb stuff. Before we proceed, if you love science-based health, wellness, and fitness education with some lulz and some dry sarcasm on the way, hit that subscribe button and join the Lemonade Stand. I would truly love to have you here. Without anything further, let's make lemonade. Okay, so first up, we have a recurring character. This is my favorite. Well, I guess he's not recurring. This is only the second time he's on here. I guess it's recurring. Whatever. He's my favorite fear-mongering personal trainer. Remember the one who said that like everything is poison and the only way to protect yourself is to eat clean and work out? You guys remember that one? I think that was last month's episode. I remember. Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Now we all know we shouldn't be putting pasteurized cow's milk in the body because it's the #1 food allergen on earth. But what about milk alternatives? So we have so many choices: oat milk, almond milk, rice milk.
Okay. Wow, I was triggered after one sentence. No one should be putting pasteurized cow's milk in us because it's the #1 food allergen in the world. Okay, first of all, no, it's not. It is one of the most common food allergies, but I don't know that it's #1. In fact, when you type in #1 most common food allergies, I've always gotten just the list of the top most common food allergies. Now, the top 9 most common food allergens are, I'm gonna try and do this without looking: dairy, eggs, fish, shellfish, soy. Oh my God. I have to look. Tree nuts, peanuts, wheat, and now sesame. The reason I said and now sesame is because for the last several decades, there were only 8 most common food allergens. All the other ones I just named except sesame. However, as of January 1st of this year, sesame officially became the 9th most common food allergen. On April 23rd, 2021, the Food Allergy Safety Treatment Education and Research FASTER Act was signed into law, and it officially declared sesame as the 9th major food allergen recognized by the United States. This became effective January 1st of this year, 2023. Obviously, I'm a big science foodie science person, so I was really interested in this information. I thought it was really cool. I'm actually personally mildly allergic to raw sesame seeds. Still eat them sometimes. I probably shouldn't though. Anyway, he said we should all avoid it because it's the #1 most common food allergen in the world. Okay, but not everyone is allergic to dairy though, so why should we all... Why do we all have to avoid it? Exhibit A. I'm not sensitive to dairy. I don't have a lactose intolerance. So why do I have to avoid cow's milk? Funnily enough, there's cow's milk in this.
Cashew milk, hemp milk. What you're gonna see right here is 2 different milks from the same company. These labels are very different. This oat milk has water, sea salt, and oats. This product has almonds, water, salt, and 3 other types of gums and flavoring that are unnecessary in this product. So when you go looking for your milk alternatives, there should be 1 or 2 ingredients like this, not a bunch of additives, flavoring, and gums.
Why did it just cut off like that? Okay, so he's one of those, the fewer ingredients, the healthier. Okay. Food ingredients are generally carefully chosen by food scientists and food manufacturers. Take gums, for example, an ingredient that he brought up. Gums like guar gum, and I believe carrageenan is one as well, are food additives that are considered safe, and they primarily serve to stabilize and thicken certain foods. For example, if you've ever eaten ice cream at any point in your life, then it's likely that that ice cream contained either guar gum or carrageenan. And my assumption is that you probably didn't die from eating that ice cream. I mean, unless it was like laced with cyanide or something. But if you did, you probably wouldn't be watching this video, though. So food gums really don't serve to add any nutritional value to food. Again, they are considered safe in small amounts for humans, but there are some studies, mostly animal studies that I've seen, have found that some gum additives can cause some tummy discomfort in large quantities. Something I noticed about his video though is that he did not cite any reasons or anything about why these food additives are so bad, but that tends to be the book on these influencers though. This thing is bad because I read it one time on Google. I feel like it's very rare that influencers cite evidence to support the claims they're making, and if they're asked about it and asked to provide supporting evidence to support their claims, then they just call you a bully and block you. Now, if I were a registered dietitian, which I'm not, but I do have a science background and am currently studying for my master's degree in nutrition, if someone asked me about milk and milk substitutes, I would probably say something like, pasteurized cow's milk is perfectly safe, obviously, assuming you are not allergic to it, and milk alternatives are perfectly safe, obviously, assuming you're not allergic to them. Gums and other additives in these products are also considered safe in the small quantities in which they are present. This reminds me of the peanut butter almond butter thing. Like at some point in the last 2 decades, people just started thinking that peanut butter was unhealthy and just started assuming that almond butter and cashew butter was healthier and better, but it's not. I mean, it tastes good, eat almond butter if you want to, but I don't understand why people just started thinking that it was a better alternative to peanut butter. And same thing with milk and milk substitutes. Obviously lactose intolerance is a common allergy. You have a lactose allergy or a milk or a dairy sensitivity or some kind of condition where you can't consume dairy. Obviously, milk substitutes are probably going to be your best bet. I feel like I remember this shift in the last 10 decades. People just started demonizing cow's milk and just started thinking that almond milk was better. Personally, I hate most milk substitutes. First of all, I have a mild true nut allergy, so cow's milk is actually a better and safer alternative for me than almond milk because I'm allergic to almond. If I drink raw almond milk, I'll get really itchy and it's not safe for me. It's not a good alternative for me. Tree nut allergy is one of the top most common allergens. There's a lot of people who can't consume almond milk or cashew milk, so cow's milk is a good alternative for them. I do occasionally like coconut milk. It's really good in the Tazo passion fruit tea. I add unsweetened coconut milk to it. Oh man, really good. Anyway, let's move on. Now, an episode in this series is truly not complete without a carnivore diet zealot telling us that we don't need to eat vegetables. Oh, and also this clip has copyrighted music in it, so get ready for, more of my own mixtape. You guys really liked that on last week's video, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. But whatever it is, I hope you enjoy it. La 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 la, picking up a purple cabbage and shaking it, judging all these other vegetables and lettuce. I don't know why carnivores hate veggies so much. La 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 la. Okay, so in that reel we just watched, she posed some pretty simple questions and answered with what I can only assume are her own answers, not based on science, but more likely to be based on her own personal experience. Unsurprisingly, she cited absolutely no evidence to support her answers. Okay. But to be fair, not every single thing she said was entirely wrong. So let's go through each of these questions. Do you need a high fiber diet to poop? She says no. I think the answer is more complex than just no. Most people don't really need a high fiber diet to poop, but eating some fiber actually does significantly help. The carnivore diet is really gaining a lot of popularity, and there are a lot of people who claim to only eat meat and never touch vegetables. Like this chick said she hasn't eaten a vegetable in 3 years. I don't believe that she has not had a bowel movement in 3 years, because that would make her truly full of shit. You can make a poop without fiber, but the quality of your poop will be drastically compromised without dietary fiber. I mean, the carnivore diet, assuming you're not eating any vegetables whatsoever, I feel like I mostly see these carnivore diet people, they never touch vegetables. They only eat meat. The carnivore diet generally results in making less than desirable poops. Yes, there is such a thing as a desirable poop. I hope this video doesn't get demonetized from me saying poop so much. Next question. Does a high fiber diet protect against diverticulosis? She said the answer is no. Science determined that it actually kind of depends based on the research. So diverticulosis is basically when you get these little pouches bulging out of your intestinal tract. To me, they look like little bubbles. Diverticulitis is when these little bubbles become inflamed. It's actually a pretty common condition that affects a lot of people. Oh my God, there's something in my eye. Hang on. Okay, I guess there was nothing in my eye. I guess my eyeball was just being dramatic. I hate when my eye is dramatic like that. It makes me think that there's something in it when it's not. As a nutrition student, I've had to learn about diverticulosis and diverticulitis because when you're having a flare-up, which the flare-up would be diverticulitis, you have to eat a really specific type of diet. Anyway, I have learned in school as a nutrition student and someone who was absolutely not a nutrition professional yet. I have learned that if you are not having a flare-up of diverticulitis and just present with diverticulosis, then a high fiber diet may present a flare-up. However, if you are having a flare-up and have active diverticulitis, then high fiber in your diet at that time may actually exacerbate it and be contraindicated. Now, I know that you all know that I'm not a registered dietitian, certified nutrition specialist, or a nutritionist. By the way, a certified nutrition specialist is like, you have to have like a PhD in nutrition, okay? It's not like a 6-week online nutrition course, okay? Just so you guys know. And I know that you guys know that if you are having a medical problem, then you should see a licensed healthcare professional. I know that you guys know that, but I'm still saying it out loud anyway. Anyway, while I was researching for this video, I did come across a study that found that high fiber did not protect against diverticulitis and may even contribute to it. But to be fair, that study was over a decade old, and I've seen more recent research, and again, I've learned more recently in school that a high fiber diet may actually protect you against diverticulosis. So, okay, her next question. Does a high fiber diet protect us from cancer? She answered no, but science determined that was a lie. This one is not nearly as ambiguous as the last one. Her saying no to this question is flat out, absolutely, categorically, indisputably wrong. There is overwhelming research that directly opposes this. There are mountains of scientific evidence that demonstrate a direct correlation between a high fiber diet and reduced cancer risk. So I don't have the next 7 hours to comb through all the research I can possibly find on the internet, but let's just look at one piece of very recent research. A 2019 study published by The Lancet conducted a series of meta-analyses and systematic reviews, which concluded that diets high in fiber or whole grains reduced incidence and mortality from several non-communicable diseases. They also found that in randomized controlled trials, higher intakes of dietary fiber reduced body weight and lowered both cholesterol and systolic blood pressure. Findings here were supported by cohort studies, which found a lowered risk of coronary heart disease and incidence of diabetes. They also found that prospective studies showed remarkable reductions in all-cause mortality, total cardiovascular disease deaths and incidence, stroke incidence, and incidence in colorectal, breast, and esophageal cancer in a dose-response relationship. These conclusions, when paired with the comparisons in clinical outcomes with varying dietary fiber intake, suggest that adults should consume no less than 25 to 29 grams of fiber per day, with more benefits likely to be seen with higher intakes than that. Need I say more? I don't think I need to. Let's move on to the next question. Does a high fiber diet help with a healthy gut microbiome? She answered, not really, which I'll admit is more ambiguous than just saying no, but I still want to say this. Science determined that was a lie. This is coming at a fun time because just last week, I wrote a short paper about inflammatory bowel disease and the gut microbiome for a discussion board I had for one of my classes. In fact, how about I cite the exact same research that I used in that paper for this video right now? I'm not going to dive super deep into this article. I could get more long-winded, but honestly, this video is getting really long, and I want to get to the very last clip. I've, as usual, have saved the best for last, so I'm not going to comb through this whole study, but I do want to read an excerpt of it to you, which directly contradicts what this influencer is saying. Dietary fiber is the key nutrient for maintaining the diversity of gut microbiota. Low microbiota diversity is associated with many chronic inflammatory chronic? Should that say chronic? I think I should say chronic. Such as obesity, diabetes, and IBD, inflammatory bowel disease. A low fiber, high fat, high protein diet is a main contributing factor to the depletion of fiber degrading microbes in populations in industrialized countries. In healthy humans, A high-fat, high-protein, and low-fat diet leads to reduced gut microbiota diversity as quickly as 1 day. A high-fat, high-protein diet can lead to reduced gut microbiota diversity in as quickly as 1 day. Could the carnivore diet be a high-fat, high-protein diet? Yes. Yes, it is. So actually, yes, dietary fiber does help foster a healthy gut microbiome. This study, as well as all my other sources that are used in this video, will be linked below. All right, I think this is her last question. Does a high fiber diet help with constipation? She said no. Lady, I don't have time to break you of your bad habits. I don't even want to waste time on this anymore. That's wrong. Here's a bunch of resources proving she's wrong. I'll link them all below. I need to move on from this one before I have an aneurysm. So this is the last one. Much of you have probably already seen it. It's made its rounds in the anti-MLM space. I actually shared about it in my Instagram story when it was happening. This was a few months ago. This was like back in November. Let me see what my thing says here. Oh yeah, this says the date on this in my album is November 27th. Yeah, so this was a while ago. I did post about it in my Instagram story, but I really didn't talk about it like at length, like in the form of a video. I don't know. I don't like talking a lot on my Instagram stories. I prefer to just make a YouTube video. So, yeah, I want to talk about it now though, because it's just been sitting in my folder and let's just watch it.
This is funny to me. Not that I have to justify it, but you guys, I have so many certifications, it's ridiculous. Certified through the National Academy of Sports Medicine, AFPA, American Fitness Professionals Association, AFA, American Fitness Association, a year-long nutrition course through the Integrative Institute of Nutrition, went on to do an advanced course, a 4.5-month gut course. So definitely have done both year-long of nutrition plus gut health plus continue to read. And I think at this point we can acknowledge that you don't have to go to a school to learn that. So I mean, how many kids are learning online all day every day? You guys, I study all the time. I'm constantly reading from top doctors in the field, top researchers in the field. So trust me, I have plenty.
How many kids are studying online? Yeah, they're going to school. My education is entirely online. I'm not reading blog posts from people. I'm learning actually science-based and evidence-based education from my accredited university. What? Also, she's taking a year-long nutrition course. Oh, a year-long nutrition course. I've been studying for my master's degree in nutrition with a clinical concentration for I think 3 years now. I'm also concurrently taking the necessary coursework to become a registered dietitian nutritionist. That coursework took an additional year, so I think I've maybe been at that for 3 or 4 years. You know what? It might actually be less. I don't think I've been in school for as long as I think I have. I think it just feels like a long time. But I cannot imagine calling myself a nutrition expert, and I would never have the audacity to think that I know more than a registered dietitian or a certified nutrition specialist or a medical doctor. But Autumn apparently does, though. We have heard Autumn say that she studies more than people who have been to college.
I am not a registered dietitian. Never claimed to be. I do study. You guys, I probably study more than people that have gone to college. I am reading constantly, learning constantly. I am following top doctors that are on the forefront of the research.
I have a scalpel upstairs in my first aid kit, so I'm basically a surgeon. Okay, so if you don't know who this is, I need to stop just assuming that everybody knows who this is. And this will also explain why she's the only one who's not blurred. If you don't know who this is celebrity trainer and beach body / body super trainer Autumn Calabrese. Pretty sure she has almost 1 million followers on Instagram. She's pretty well known. She's made several beach body exercise programs. She's made the container system that we've all probably heard of, the 21-day fix. There's been several iterations, whatever. I still know it as a 21-day fix. I don't care. She's made other nutrition programs for Beachbody. I think she's pretty well known in the fitness and nutrition space, and she's often criticized too for her very stringent and rigid viewpoints when it comes to food and exercise. For example, she frequently labels food as healthy and unhealthy. She's gone on a couple rants on her Instagram story about how she thinks that disordered eating is people just overindulging on like junk food, bad food. That's what she thinks disordered eating is, but she apparently doesn't think it's disordered eating to feel that you have to eat your food out of color-coded containers. By the way, that's like by definition disordered. She calls herself a fitness expert, but she still thinks your knees are supposed to stay behind your toes when you squat. She calls herself a nutrition expert, but on top of all the other things that I just mentioned, I have heard her say that eating sprouts alkalizes the body.
Sprouts are one of the most nutritionally complete foods that you can eat. They're amazing. They're alkalinizing.
And by the way, in terms of accredited education, all she has behind her is studying dance from Webster University. And there's a reason that I said accredited, because the Institute of Integrated Nutrition, it's not accredited. Yeah, I'm sure she learned about nutrition for a year, but it's not. If you go on their information page, like on their FAQ page on their website, under the question, is the program accredited, they basically dance around the question and say everything except yes. So I feel like that's a clear indicator that it is not accredited. So anyway, I just said that this clip kind of circulated quite a bit among the anti-MLM content space. It did, but why am I bringing it up here? Well, because Autumn Calabrese is a Beachbody/body super trainer, but as far as we know, she's not actually a part of the company as a representative, as a consultant. I do believe she is contractually tied to the company. She makes workout programs, nutrition programs, stuff like that. She advertises for them. But again, as far as we know, that is just as a super trainer. Again, she has a following that's close to 1 million on Instagram. She's written a couple books. And again, she calls herself an expert in areas where, as far as online research yields, she has absolutely no legitimate accredited educational background that will qualify her an expert in the professional setting, at least in these areas that she claims to be an expert in. So basically, she fits the bill perfectly to be a fitness influencer. In my opinion, Autumn Calabrese is a fitness influencer. That's why I stopped putting her in like my anti-MLM themed videos, and I started putting her like more in this series instead. Anyway, in that brief clip, we saw she was responding to the not the answer. I guess it wasn't a question. It was a response of, they said, please get certifications. I need to know who wrote that. I really do. And then she rattled off a list of certifications that she has. So what has landed her in a spot in this video? First off, why are you being so smug?
This is funny to me. Not that I have to justify it, but you guys, I have so many certifications, it's ridiculous.
Someone is making a very valid remark and voicing a very valid and legitimate concern about your lack of credentials and certifications. And she's like, I have so many certs, it's ridiculous. I heard that, and to me that's tantamount to, I don't know, someone being like, I have so much knowledge, it's crazy. In my opinion, if you are giving somebody sensitive advice and recommendations and guidance that could impact their health and their well-being, such as fitness advice, such as nutrition advice, then people are entitled to know about your background. So I would actually say, she made a comment before that about, I don't even have to justify it. I would actually argue that you do. Actually, you do have to justify it. As many of you probably know, I've had plastic surgery. At my consultation, I asked my surgeon about his background and his education and his experience. And as expected, he was very happy to tell me all about it, as he should. I can't imagine, like, if he answered my question with such a smug attitude like that, like, how dare you ask me, the person who you're trusting to cut you open, about my background? Who cares if his medical degree is from Wish? He read a book, so he knows how to do it. That's the vibe I was getting from this clip from Autumn. Now, something that I must mention while we're talking about this clip is, thanks to some sleuthing of content creators who make anti-MLM content, they actually let NASM, National Academy of Sports Medicine, that's one of the certs she mentioned, they actually let them know that Autumn is out here saying that she's certified with them. And according to them, they don't have her in their database with an active certification with NASM or AFAA. That screen recording is courtesy of Amber at the Instagram handle The Amber Nye. So thank you, Amber, for your public service.
Not that I have to justify it, but you guys, I have so many certifications, it's ridiculous. Certified through the National Academy of Sports Medicine.
So, a few questions. Why does the website say differently? Second question. Which one of you all asked her that?
They effectively proved that Autumn was not being super accurate. I'm avoiding using the word liar because I'm trying to be PC. Now, I also do want to just make a quick comment too. I have the NASM personal training cert myself. I've been certified for, I don't know, 7-8 years. I've been good at it for like the last 3 years though. I have a lot of issues with the NASM certification. And I do just want to say, you're not a fitness expert just because you have the NASM personal training certification. I don't think just having any personal training certification from any of these most popular organizations, I don't think any of those alone makes you a fitness expert. That's just my opinion. Even if she had an up-to-date NASM cert, I still wouldn't consider her a fitness expert. That's just my opinion. But it would at least demonstrate that she does continuing education to keep her certification up to date, you know, because I know there's probably going to be some people in the comments who are like, the NASM cert is Well, yeah, I agree with you. I have a lot of issues with it, but it would at least demonstrate that she has upheld her continuing education. Although, did you guys know that the NASM cert allows the Beachbody 21-day fix certification course as a CEU? That's another rant. So this is why this clip is in this episode. This is stuff influencers say. I'd say like 95% of health/wellness/fitness influencers have absolutely zero education to their name and have absolutely no business sharing the sensitive information that they share in regards to health and wellness and stuff like that. In addition, whenever they're called out on it, they love to pull the card, well, you don't need education to be educated. Bitch, what? Yes, you do. Isn't that the point? If you believe that, then why do you call 911 when you fall off the roof and break both your legs? Why do they bring you to the hospital? Because you're not a doctor and you need a doctor. Why did I call a lawyer when Melissa McAllister threatened to sue me for defamation? Because I'm not a lawyer and I needed a lawyer. Why do I bring my car to a mechanic when I needed service? Because I'm not a mechanic and I need a mechanic. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Stop acting like education doesn't matter. It does. In my opinion, the reason why a lot of them say this, or one of the reasons why a lot of them immediately love to turn to, you don't need education to be educated, I think a lot of them turn to that is because they just don't like being reminded that they don't know what the they're talking about. Maybe they're insecure about the fact that they never went to school. People have brought that up before in my comments section. I don't know. Maybe. But newsflash, it's okay to not know things. It's okay to not be an expert. I'm not an expert in quantum physics, but I get along just fine. When I decide I want to learn about time travel, though, I'm gonna find a quantum physicist because I don't know the first thing about quantum physics, and that's okay. So there's that discussion about influencers either maybe they're lying about having certain certifications or credentials or certain background education, which may or may not have happened just now when Autumn said that she had her certs with NASM and AFAA. But you know what fitness and wellness influencers actually do have, though? Visible abs. They're 8% body fat, so they must know what they're talking about, right? Or they're somebody who lost like 150 pounds doing keto, and now they know everything there is to know about the keto diet, so they're an expert now, right? Wrong. Can we please stop platforming people because of how they look? Just because someone looks a certain way doesn't mean they're qualified, and it doesn't mean they know what they're talking about. For all we know, that person who lost 150 pounds might have starved themselves to do it. Okay, admittedly, this turned into a bit more of a rant than I expected, but this is just a topic that really grinds my gears, and I feel like it's highly relevant in the health, wellness, fitness influencing space. Health/wellness/fitness influencers calling themselves experts after they took a 6 weeks Autumn took a year-long nutrition certification course. Or thinking they're an expert because they read a blog post by a physician. It's ridiculous. And they see nothing wrong with it either. These people, I know mental health is a serious topic, so I'm not going to act as if I'm trying to diagnose anyone. I am not a mental health professional. I'm far from it. I think you all know that, and I think you all understand that. It's really fascinating to me, honestly, like to see the way a lot of these influencers behave. When someone calls them out on their BS with a very reasonable remark like, hey, are you qualified? They get angry and block you, or my personal favorite, they say that you're bullying them. They call you a bully because you brought up a very valid concern or made a valid remark. I always wondered if there is maybe some kind of personality disorder at play, where these people have such inflated egos that they just absolutely refuse to be wrong. And they refuse to acknowledge that they were wrong about something. So much so that instead of saying something like, oh wow, thanks for correcting me, I didn't know that, they just call you a bully and then they block you. Or the amount of them that straight up think that they know more than professionals who have spent years, who have dedicated their careers to studying in these areas. They think that they know better than actual experts. I have seen fitness influencers straight up argue with scientific evidence that they're being presented that proves what they're saying is wrong. What? Only a health/wellness/fitness influencer can read on Google about inflammatory bowel disease and then develop a whole meal plan to treat inflammatory bowel disease. And then truly believe in their heart of hearts that they know more than a gastroenterologist. Welcome to the internet, folks. The last few minutes felt like the train was just like barreling through, and I had to pull the reins on myself just now. I had to relax. I could have talked about that for at least another hour, but I have things to do. This is probably going to be a slightly longer video because Brianna can't shut her trap. Anyway, if you made it to this point, thank you very much. Thanks for sticking by me and sticking through us here. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If you want to see more videos like this one, Stuff Influencers Say is a monthly series, so I will see you back here next month for another episode. If you'd like to see more of that, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next one. Queen Lemon, over and out. Time for dogs now. I think I hear Onyx. He was just downstairs with me, but then he came upstairs. There's the boy. There's the old man. You guys want to go outside? Yeah, let's go outside. You guys coming too? There's a squirrel right there. You guys see it? Oh God. He made it up the tree. The squirrel made it. Onyx and Zeus have never caught a squirrel, but they've caught bunnies before. When we lived in Florida, they caught rabbits all the time. Did you see Onyx? Look at this athlete. This old man.